I was doing just fine getting my life together. Back in 2012, 2013, that's when I decided that I never wanted to work a 9 to 5 again. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why was because when I was working in that type of environment, it was like I didn't feel like I had time to myself. And I had spent more than how many years focusing on someone other than myself. I hardly even knew myself. You know, like when I was younger, my father passed away. I was only like 7 years old. And then I was the oldest at the same time. I had a lot of responsibilities as a young child. And I went to school. I went to school thinking that would help me to get closer to doing something like a career, focusing on my career. I always wanted to start my own business, especially a business related to my interest. But when I was in college, it's like I wasn't really able to focus on myself enough. Like, I used to skateboard way before college. And when I went away to college, I hardly even skated. Hardly skated any skate parks because I was like in the middle of like the boondocks. Like, there was hardly any transportation around. The only way you could go anywhere is with a car. And all the buses were far from each other. And not only that, but it took an hour just to get on the next bus, you know? And if you missed that hour, you could be waiting hours just for the next bus. So it was like I was out there alone. Yes, I had some friends that had cars, but it was like certain things that I went through made me realize, right, that it's better not to depend on others because they may want something from you that you're not willing to give them. And not only that, it's like it's better to be independent because you have your own space, your own things to help you. And you don't have to spend so much time waiting on others either. But it's like, being that my father had passed away, I didn't really have resources like that. I was out there alone. And after college, I decided to go back to live with my family because I had spent such a long time away from family. and away from myself, because I was focused on everything outside of myself, trying to get good grades. It was very stressful. And then not only that, but it's like at the time, if you didn't work, they would force you to get a job or force you to do job search. And this whole job search thing is what landed me at a job that I felt very vulnerable in, because of the fact that while I was there, I was being yelled at by certain people. I was being sexually abused by certain people. And it was like, even after all of that, it's like as soon as I got back home, it was like I had no time for myself other than to eat something very quickly and then try to get started for the next day. You know, go to sleep as early as possible for the next day. And it's like my body, like, I'm not a freaking robot, you know? I'm not a robot. Sometimes I couldn't sleep. And then I started noticing that it felt more and more like I couldn't sleep. It's like I would have insomnia and stuff because, all those student loans and stuff, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay all of them off? And at the same time, I was thinking about, oh, I got to go to work in the morning and stuff like that. And that was just, it was like it's like I still did not know myself. And because my energy was always being siphoned and drained by all these things, taking away my energy. And so after that temporary job, that seasonal job ended, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta focus on my mental health because this is just too much for me. And I don't want to have to go through that again. So that's exactly what I did in 2013. I decided not to ever get a 9-to-5 ever again, not to get a 7-3, not to, because I was working from 7 to 3. And even that, after 3 o'clock, it's like by the time I got home, it was 4 something. And then I just had time to eat, to make something to eat before it got dark. So it's like by the time I got home, it was already getting dark. And then it's like I still did not have time to discover myself, to discover, the fun of skateboarding. So in 2013, that's when I really started my quest. I was searching deep within myself, wishing that I could find a group or some type of opportunity where I could learn how to skateboard more effectively and really, and I found this organization called Girls Riders Organization, and I started going to the events, and I met so many beautiful, intelligent female skateboarders, and or anyone that identifies with any other pronouns. They were there, and I got to really take the time to really get to know myself. But at the same time, I still had a lot of anxiety and fear because I had not developed myself previously because of all of the, you know, the lack of connection with my family and stuff, and the lack of connection with, you know, because it's like I stayed to myself a lot, and I didn't have my communication wasn't really developed as much. So it's like I was doing my best to develop my communication even more then, and literally I was like a baby. I was like, you know, beginning to live life for me at that time. And like, it's like with all of that, it's like I was still focusing on my creativity, which, you know, I'm naturally talented in art. I can draw very detailed and things like that, but you know, art takes time, it takes dedication, it takes, you know, confidence too, in order to actually put yourself out there. It takes confidence. But you know, the thing about that is that I didn't have any confidence because of the fact that as a child, I was told some things that made me very ashamed to be myself. Like, for example, when I was in school, them telling me, oh, I can't speak my native language or else I'll go to detention. That was one thing that affected my subconscious mind. The next thing that affected my subconscious mind is when I was told that what I was wearing was actually, you know, not really, you know, attractive or whatever, because it was like bigger than, you know, what it could have been. So it's like how I was dressing or my style of dressing was not accepted. So it kind of like, there was so many different things people had said to me that affected my confidence, and I just felt so alone. And I really wanted to bond and connect with someone. And that's the thing, that in college I tried to bond with people there, but it was like I was being let down. And after college, I was really trying to repair everything. But it's like, you know, it just seemed like even me wanting something good for myself, it's like the world was just not allowing me to get what it is I wanted. And like, I was doing my very best to get the help I needed and the space I needed to actually heal myself, because I knew what it is I had to do, because I'm the one that felt what I was feeling, and I knew how urgent and important it was. And that's why I had so many breakdowns in the past, because it was like I felt like I felt very it just didn't feel right to me. I'm telling you, didn't feel right. I did my very best, my ultimate best. I did my ultimate best, and I thought I was in the right direction because this is what my spirit guided me. But it just almost seems like even though I worked so diligently to get to this point in my life, it almost seems like disrespectful that certain things are going on in this moment that are stopping the connection of family bonds and friendship bonds, with the whole social distancing and stuff. Like, it's almost like all that work I did to work on myself, almost like, like it's like I'm not being allowed to actually develop the rest, because yes, I've actually became more confident throughout the years, and I've actually worked on myself day and night to really understand myself and what it takes to heal and to be healthy. Like, I spent as much time as I could focusing on things I love to do and developing my skills. And I still do that to this day. I focus on developing my skills even more. And I've gotten so good at so many things. But it's just, that's not where it stops. You still gotta learn how to navigate the business world. Learn how to navigate, how to, basically take your talent and figure out how to, let your talent sustain you. And that's what I'm getting to in the moment. I'm learning how to do that. Yes, people actually see my talents already, and they actually do request my services because I'm so talented in certain areas. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind that in order for me to continue to focus on developing my skills, I also have to have the proper tools for that development to take place. And that's where I also have to find funding and resources to work on my skills. Because I know what I'm into. I know the things that I know my talents. And I know that it's important, right? Because that's how I'm able to give to the world and be of service to the world around me by being myself and using my specific talents and skills. But it's like, at the same time, it's not always all just about work. You also have to realize that in life you have to balance work and play. And if I can make my work my play my work and my play and my work my play, then that's the greatest, healthiest balance for me, because I know that I'll always be happy. I'll always feel like I'm not even working if I can balance that. And I feel that as a being on this planet, I deserve to be able to experience harmony and development in what it is that I and specifically given the gift to do. So I'm unsure how to, I guess what I would like to finish this off with is that, like, yes, on the outside, I may look like, oh, I don't have it all together. But that's not the whole story. That is not the whole story. You may see me at a certain aspect or a certain face, and then you may see me in another face, and then you'll see like, oh, I'm very multidimensional. I got different dimensions to my being, In this side, you could see all these talents. In that side, you could see that my talents still, could use more structure and more, resources that can help it to be expressed more, and that's why it's, it makes no sense for me to be hard on myself, even though I might feel hard on myself, mainly because of, the pressure to be at a certain point, at a certain age. Because this life is not just a life that, it's not like we're always going to be young. We're all getting older, and time doesn't wait for us. Time is always moving along. And it's like I would like to be more fearless when it comes to doing normal things, and not just focusing on my career aspect or my how I'm gonna get money and things like that, but actual things like having children and just being a regular being, someone that deserves to have a family, to start a family. Because with all those stresses, it's almost like, I was actually put in a position where it's like I had to focus on that thing just to figure out how I could pay some type of, all those, stuff. And it's like all that focus on that direction kind of led me to like feel scared to actually start my own family and just, let it flow and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't know how the future is going to turn out. This is something I'm really realizing, is that you don't know what the future's holds or how it's going to turn out. But everything you decide to do in this moment, and you decide to water and focus on it. That's what grows. So, and it's better to plant a seed now than to wait till later. Because if you don't plant the seed now, you'll never see the fruits. And that's what you got to keep in mind, is that time is ticking. And it's so weird and it's so crazy being absorbed in that whole situation. It's very scary too. Very, very scary, because, it makes you feel like you're in a helpless situation. Especially with everything that's going on in the moment, with the, with the social distancing, the masks, the, all of those things. Like, it puts another layer of stress and a whole nother layer of, anxiety to process, when life should even be like that. It's just, it's like so messed up that's causing such corruption in our peace of mind, And I guess that's all I wanted to share today. It's just the journey that I've taken in life based on how I grew up and how, how it is for me, because I know everybody's story is different. And that's what causes us to be focused on different things, or to do different things differently. And it's like, like you might be looking at me like, oh, I'm weird. It's like, if you met me in person, you might think I'm weird, but it's like, you did not walk, a mile in my shoes to know what it feels like to be me. You have no idea. And you only know what it feels like to be you. So your perspective is going to be different. You're going to have to look at my life and how I've experienced things to really know, like, okay, I've done so much to be my best self. I've done a lot. And I'm still, I still would like to freaking get better at skateboarding. Like, I still feel like a child at heart. I still feel like this is something I'm passionate about. And I just wouldn't want to miss out on that opportunity in my life to actually do something big about that specific thing of interest. Because, like, again, I said, we're not getting any younger, we're getting older. And who wants to be old and, bones, joints all freaking tired and stuff, and be, trying to skate, and, and it's for me, it's kind of like, it's hard for me to really think about what to do first and to process everything. It's challenging for the simple fact that it's like, I'm I feel that I've been a perfectionist. So it's like it has taken me longer to start things, but once I actually started doing things, that's when I just like took off, and things just attracted toward me, you know, learning experiences. And yeah, there's a lot of learning experiences that I've attracted, and just from following my heart and following, you know, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like I do this because I really care about my family. I love my family, and it's like after certain things had happened in my life, I really wanted to help my mother and my family, because as a child, when my father passed away, we lost our property and our properties, and it was like, it was just difficult living in the projects in such a small, cluttered space. It was like I couldn't even concentrate, or especially after college, you know, because like in college, it was just so much. There was like, it was a lot. It was a lot mainly because so many things happened that I feel that it's like it's hard for me to talk about, because of the fact that if you knew what had happened while I was in college, you would be like, oh my gosh, you know. Because it's like, how do you deal with that when you have not only that, but it's like, how do you deal with that, right? When you're doing everything you can to deal with it yourself, because you know, your father passed away, and your mother speaks her native language, our native language, way more fluently than English. And it's like I had to deal with everything. That was so much responsibility, like, but I got through college. I feel like I took care of myself throughout my whole entire life, and I didn't really ever ask anyone for help, not even my mother as much, because I wanted her to just, you know, focus on taking care of my brother, which he was mentally, you know, he is neurologically different than normal or neurotypical, you know. And it's like I was like, you know, I'm just gonna let my mother just focus on what it is she has to focus on, and I'm gonna focus on doing what I can do for myself, because I don't want to put any burden on anyone. And that was like what I've been doing for such a long time, until I realized I had to ask for assistance, because I couldn't do it all myself. And here I am to this day. Here I am. And this is what's going on in the outside world. You know, think about it, how that looks like to me. You know, think about it. It's one of those things. It's like, that's why I have a very, you know, like, I know that everything that's going on in this moment is wrong. Wrong in the sense that, you know, like, them trying to force anything upon you, that's wrong. You know, because it's like they're not letting you be yourself. They're taking you away from your connection with self. And when they do that, they're literally robbing you from the life you can live. And that's why I'm like, I could see right through everything. I could see right through it. And it's like, that's why I'm like, no, I don't comply with that, because it does not make sense to me. After all I've been through, that does not make any bit of sense to me. No bit of sense at all. And last time I had such flu or whatever, you know, like, when I got that, I knew what happened that actually caused it. And it was like, I stayed, like, whenever I got that, it was when I was staying indoors for way too long, wasn't getting enough sunlight, and I was stressing about, like, why am I in this situation? Why am I in this situation type of feelings, you know, like, you know, what's with this, you know, environment type of feeling, you know. And it's like, I know the feelings that led to me getting that, and the situation and environment that led to me getting that. So I know exactly what causes it and how to heal it, because I healed from it like twice. And, you know, one thing that heals it is getting plenty of sunlight, sweating, because sweating actually removes all the toxins. It sheds out all the toxins that have accumulated in your body, which could be causing the flu-like symptoms. And when you do yoga, it also realigns your spine, which helps with the tension that you may be feeling. Taking a salt bath also helps, because salt baths have a way of, you know, they have a way of restoring your energetic body, especially because the salt water interacts with your body, and it's like it basically, it's like energetic. It causes like an energetic type of, you know, reaction, which causes energy to be put in different directions of your body, or to help restore the energetic balance. And another thing that helps is affirmations, because affirming to yourself, like, I am alive, I am strong, I am healthy. Those are 3 very strong, powerful affirmations that you can use when you have that, or when you get that, because it's like, it literally changes the energy around you, which it changes everything. It's like, what do I call it? What do you call it? It's called transmutation. Transmutes negative energy to positive. So whatever your body has, like, you transmute it by telling those affirmations. Also, another thing that helps is imagining yourself being happy, being strong, doing fun things with your family, laughing. Like, a lot of those things help when you have the flu, because it helps you imagine yourself in a stronger state of being, which actually manifests it into your actual reality and your body. And then your body actually believes what it's feeling and seeing it within your mind. And that's how you strengthen your body and you get rid of the flu. You have to continue that whole process. It's just like how, if you believe that you're strong and you imagine yourself having muscles, eventually you'll attract that body. That's with anything in life. It's all about imagination. And that's the message for today, and my story, and my truth. And that's why I live authentically. And I live my best life every single day. It's a choice. And I have every right to make that choice. Yeah. And I hope this inspires others. Like and subscribe. Share. Just know that we're all in this together. We are all one. We're all connected. And I know someone out there can relate to this in some way. And, whatever, take whatever you can from this story and let it inspire you to do something that can, help you to live your best life too. Until next time. See ya.